it is an amazing way to see the city falling asleep, the lights waking up, nightlife happening, and the sunrise. And during our cocktail that we love to do for our groups here on Sugarloaf, we like to include a surprise helicopter flight. So it's a 7-minute flight around the city where you go around the beaches of Copacabana, Ipanema, the lagoon, and the Christ Redeemer. Okay. So now we're going to go for dinner, and once we've slept, the next morning we're going to discover the Tijuca forest, the largest urban forest inside a city. And this is the beauty of Rio. It is such a diverse city. You can either be on the beach, in the mountains, or in the historical parts. But today we're going to go off into the Tijuca forest. So being here in the Tijuca forest, as I said, it's one of the largest urban forests inside a city. Okay, and we can either do this by jeeps or by tram. This tram is going to take us up to the Christ Redeemer, one of the new 7 wonders of the world. During our tour, we're going to stop at this lovely pagoda, which is called Vista Chinesa, okay? And this was a tribute from the Brazilian government to the Chinese in 1902 when they brought the habit of drinking tea into Brazil. From here, you have one of the most exquisite views over Rio. Okay, so we love to stop here where we'll have a little surprise for an incentive group, village or town of Santa Teresa. Okay, so here you can see this was in the 18th, 19th century. Santa Teresa was where we had all the wealthy people, the Portuguese court. Everyone lived up in Santa Teresa in these very opulent, monumental little villas, which today have become very, very nice little boutique hotels, restaurants. And here we have lots of artists living today. So it's a very trendy, high-end little area with beautiful little boutique hotels, very small little restaurants, and a great option for a day tour, or even people that have come to Rio for a second time and want to be up in the mountains where it's a little bit cooler, but still close to the city in a little boutique hotel. We love for incentives to include the trams. These can come all the way from downtown Rio over the aqueduct up to Santa Teresa if we're not doing it by Jeep. But in this case, we've arrived by Jeep, so we will include a little tour in one of the old trams around Santa Teresa. Here we have a great monument as well, venue, which is called Parque das Ruínas. And today it is used as an art museum and used a lot for venues, for car launches, for outdoor concerts, and it has an amazing view over the city as well. So when we arrive in Santa Teresa for our groups, we love to surprise them with either a little samba trio, a capoeira presentation, these lovely ladies, baianas, handing out some nice caipirinhas before we go off to lunch. And lunch here can be in a more rustic little restaurant like this one here, which is called Bar do Mineiro, very famous for its delicious feijoada, which is a very typical Brazilian stew made with black beans. So again, a journey through the flavors that we have to offer. Or the magnificent cachaça tasting. In Santa Teresa, there's a little brewery called Magnifica, where we can do a magnificent cachaça tasting as well for the group after lunch, which is a fantastic digestive after you've had your feijoada. Okay, so this is our Santa Teresa tour. The next morning, we are going to go to downtown, the historical part of Rio over here. So just to give you your bearings, we've done the Sugarloaf, we've done the forest, the Christ, Santa Teresa. And now we're going to go downtown to the historical Rio, a journey through time. And here we love to do a walking tour. For incentives, we also include a sort of a rally where they have a road book and certain places where they have to go. And as I'm saying, it's a journey through time. We will have people in certain spots dressed as if they were in the 18th, 19th century, giving them clues of where they have to go. This icon here in the middle is our cathedral. Yes, it's a cathedral. It's our beehive. It's very, very different to any cathedral you would see in the world. It's a huge concrete building, but inside it is full of stainless steel that is really, really amazing. Okay, so this is, and when you're up at the Sugarloaf or the Christ Redeemer, and you look in the direction of downtown, you're going to see this building here, which is the building of Petrobras. You can see it has a hole in the middle and a cross. So once you're up at Sugarloaf and you look at this in this direction, the cross seems like it is actually the cross on top of the cathedral, which is actually standing here at the bottom. Other monuments that we cannot miss, I've just seen here, this picture is, I don't know why it's in the wrong place. Here we're supposed to have our Royal Portuguese Library, and not this picture here. But anyway, let's forget about that. We'll continue to our theatre. To our municipal theatre, which is a replica of the theatre and opera, a great venue, beautiful ballets. We love to include this as well during the walking tour, or even at night for one presentation. The monastery, St. Bento Monastery, is also included always in the historical walking tour. And Confeitaria Colombo, 1808, the oldest coffee house in Rio. Amazing for just a stop for beautiful coffee and cake or lunch during the tour. And our Portuguese library, that I will send you a beautiful picture afterwards, is, I challenge someone here, let's do a beautiful Harry Potter themed dinner in the library. It really is something unique. Also downtown, our Celeron Steps is part of the walking tour. These steps were created by a Chilean gentleman called Celeron that moved to Brazil and fell in love with, obviously, Rio, because anyone that moves here falls in love. Their introduction to Rio is the port and the graffiti. We have the Museum of Tomorrow, a great venue for lunches and dinners overlooking the Guanabara Bay down here. Beautiful venue. And the museum is very interactive. It was designed by Calatrava, and also a gift to the city for the to celebrate the Olympic Games. And our version of the London Eye. Okay, our Rio Star, also a new attraction in the city. So our downtown area is another historical part. A night out in town. This is what we all like, party time. And this is where samba started. This picture here to your left is called Pedra do Sal. And I like to always include it in a program when we have people interested in samba, in music, and it's the actual roots of samba. So back in the 18th, 19th century, when the Portuguese discovered Brazil, and they brought a lot of Africans and slaves from Africa on their routing through India, all these people had to meet somewhere, and this was their meeting place, and where they started with the drumming and things like that. So it's the actual roots of samba. It's a night out of town where you have to stand up. There's no bars where you can sit down. We have little vendors drinking beer, but really the roots and something for you to discover. Then for those that want something a little bit more calm, where they can actually sit at tables, we have our rodas de samba, which is our samba circles, where we have a whole lot of people playing instruments, singing beautiful Brazilian songs, and anyone can join in, and we call it puxar o samba, so calling the samba to yourself, and it's a great night out as well. And then the famous Rio Scenario, which was voted a couple of years back by New York Times as one of the best 10 bars in the world, was an old antique house, 3 floors full of antiques, really, really interesting. And they always have 2 live bands. At the moment, due to the situation that we're living worldwide, it is closed. Mm-hmm. The Temple of Football, the Brazilian passion, a local passion. And by the way, Mario Grill, congratulations, Portugal won yesterday. I was watching the game. So we have here the Brazilian Temple of Football, which is a great venue for incentives as well, be it to go and see a game. Watching a game in Brazil is in Rio, but during the day we also have activities. One of them is the City of Samba, where we visit all the samba schools and where they actually have the warehouses, how they make the floats, all of what samba is about. And then we have the opportunity of mask making, drumming, samba lessons, and getting dressed in these amazing costumes and do our own little mini carnival as well. So that's a great activity during the day. Or for those who want something a little bit more one-on-one, a private samba lesson with the famous Carlinho de Jesus, or in the evening going to a gafieira, which is actually a samba house. So different to Rio scenario where you're going to have a band playing and everyone dancing as if it was a club. These samba halls are very local, very typical, where people will go meet up with their friends, have a coffee, caipirinha, a glass of wine, and dance samba, gafieiras. So the three options we have. Sorry, we're going in the wrong direction here. And then the actual carnival. So for those of you who don't know about Carnival, it's a huge competition. It's a competition between the samba schools. In Rio, we have over 65 different samba schools, but I divide them into leagues. We have the first league, second league, third league. And the first league is what everyone wants to see. They parade on Sunday and Monday. We have 6 schools parade Sunday, 6 schools parade Monday. Wednesday, the winners are announced, and the following Saturday, we have what we call Winners Parade, where the 6 winners parade again. So keep that in mind. It's a good option for incentives. So to see the samba school, it's an open air opera. You have more than 4,000 people, 3,500 to 4,000 people parading. In each school has a theme, and they're telling you a story. So we have about 7 floats, 4,000 people, different costumes. Everything is judged. It really is amazing. And you can either sit on blanches, which is the cheaper tickets, or on the ground level, which we call the open boxes. So you're on the ground level of the samba school. Or we have what we call our hospitality suites. And here you have one of our groups from Australia, all with their personalized shirts and their little feathers in a hospitality suite, in a bigger suite. So here you have all your meals included. It's dinner, it's lunch, breakfast. And you're going to say, Anna, breakfast? But what time does this end? It starts at 9 at night and it's going to go until about 6 in the morning.
Wow.
So you'll have more meals all the time through that. Drinks, open bar, premium drinks, parties. So a great way to see the parade is here. And obviously we also have our street parties. So 5 days, street parties going on throughout the city. The mayor of Rio has guaranteed that 2022, we are going to have the biggest party in the world to celebrate life. So please all get your vaccine and come to Rio for Carnival in 2022.
Sounds amazing. I'm there.
It really is. It's
brilliant.
A great party. And then we also have our Rio from the water. And here's a great way to do a boat tour in the Guanabara Bay, see Rio from the viewing. On the other side of the river, of the Bay of Guanabara, we have a town called Niterói. And we always say the best thing about Niterói is the view they have to Rio. Can you imagine sitting in your apartment and having that beautiful landscape of Rio in your window? So we like to see that from the water. And there we can either do this in the morning, in the afternoon, with sunset, saxophone, DJ, partying. The opportunities are endless. The marina has been all totally redone, has beautiful venues as well for lunch and dinner. And here we have one of my favorite venues called Ilha Fiscal. It's a fairy tale castle in the middle of the Guanabara Bay. Amazing to do little gala dinners and venues, the group arriving by boat with red carpets. So imagination we have, we just need to put it all together. So, as I said, a very diverse city, outdoors and more. There's lots to do in Rio. It's surfing, stand-up paddle, hand gliding, trekking, hiking up in the morning to see the beautiful views, bike rides where we can have these number plates personalized with your group's name, stand-up paddle in the mangroves of Barra da Tijuca. We'll get there in a bit. And it's all about the beach. different to other countries in the world where people will meet up in local cafes and restaurants. We all live in apartments. Our backyard is the beach. So we select a spot, and that's where you're going to meet your friends for the afternoon, besides going to the beach, but it's where you're going to have your drinks, your caipirinha, your local sandwiches, do your sports. So Saturdays, Sundays, the beaches are really, really full because people are meeting up with friends. Outdoor sports on the beach are very popular: foot volley, beach tennis. And you think of anything you want to buy on the beach, be it a bikini, be it a newspaper, be it a dress to wear to the beach. It's on the beach, okay? Anything you think of is on the beach. So when we have incentive groups, we always invite you to be Carioca. Come and join us, put on your Havaianas and join us on the beach. Okay. Food-wise, we're going to go to the area of Leblon, and Rio is also a melting pot of different kinds of flavors. We have 5 Michelin restaurants inside the city, 2 Michelin two restaurants with 2 Michelin stars, and 3 restaurants with 1 Michelin star. That one was a complicated one for me. 2 Michelin, So very high-end cooking as well. But we also have, and these are my favorite, our hidden botecos. This is not more our version of a local pub. Okay, they're all over the city, local tastes, local favors. You're going to see a huge Portuguese influence in the Brazilian cuisine. We have what we call bolinhas de bacalhau. Bacalhau is codfish, which we like to have as snacks with ice cold beer. We have our version of the Argentinian empanadas. We call them pastels, filled with beautiful cheese, Brazilian cheese, prawns, really delicious. So here we like to do a bar rally before as one of the activities, dividing the groups up. You can't come to Brazil or to Rio and not experience our churrasco. And the churrasco is nothing more, nothing less than barbecue. Here, meat comes out in skewers. You have over 26 different tastes, different cuts of meat. Wow. So it's for those people who enjoy meat, a paradise. And obviously we would go to one of the churrascarias in our program, but we also like to include it as a workshop, as a group activity where people are going to learn how to make it. And when they go back, be able to make their own Brazilian churrasco. Traveling is about taking back with you your experiences and not just experiencing it there. So that's one of our options. Our coffee and chocolate tasting as well, where it's 2 famous things in Brazil. It's the coffee beans and the cacao, where we have amazing chocolate. We actually produce one of the chocolates that's the favorite of the Queen. So we like to include that in a workshop. And obviously the cooking with the locals, going to the local street markets, buying your ingredients and having a cooking lesson. Our way of getting around: 22 kilometers of beaches, high landscapes, very good shopping centers, very high-end shoppings. We have 3 golf courses in Rio. I mentioned 2 in São Conrado, 1 in Barra da Tijuca, which is the Olympic golf course. That was first time golf came back into the Olympics was in Rio. So we're very proud of our golf course. We have a tour here, which we call the Pantanal Carioca. So as you can see in these lagoons, if we go further in, we're going to have bird watching, caiman spotting, mangroves where you can do stand-up paddle. So really, really a different part of the city of Rio, and not more than 20 minutes away from Copacabana and Ipanema. In this area, we have also a very large convention center. You have larger hotels as well to support the convention center, and the Grand Hyatt has opened a beautiful resort for the Olympic Games in 2016, which is also a great option as well for an incentive group. Some of our venues. So here we have the aquarium in Rio, where we can do a beautiful dinner inside the aquarium in front of the largest thing, after visiting the aquarium with a whole lot of hints and surprises that I will tell you later on in a different opportunity. You will end with this wow dinner. Or we have in the Tijuca forest some beautiful venues like Casa das Canoas, the museum here of natural history as well, where we have in the claustro area dinners, or here Casa Rosa up in Gloria, which is very close to the Church of Gloria. The group will visit the church. From the church, we have a private access to come through the dungeons, where they will arrive in this house for a beautiful dinner. So obviously these are only 4 options. There is a whole menu of different venues. And day tours out of Rio. Today I'm only going to mention 2 because we still have a lot to go through. One is Petropolis, which is the imperial town. Okay, a huge German influence as well, where we have a beautiful brewery of beers, so great to taste there. We have the Imperial Museum, where you can see a lot of the Portuguese influence and crown jewels from the Portuguese time. And that's up into the north, okay? And then we have Rio de Janeiro, sorry, the tropical islands, which is to the south, which is a great day out where we go, it's an hour and a half transfer on a coach where we get to Itucaraçá and board a beautiful schooner boat, which is a big wooden boat. We visit the 2 or 3 different islands, and when we end on our own for a Robinson Cruise day, where we will have capoeira presentation. There's a beautiful swimming pool, beach to do a beach luau. We can do this for dinner as well. So it's to get a bit out of the city of Rio and have an experience of a tropical island as well. So that is our Rio by the glance. Any questions up to now? Are we all cool? We're all cool. So we're going to go on to Salvador da Bahia. Oops. No, this doesn't want to go. Golly, this map today doesn't want to work properly. And it's going to fall off. You're going to keep it. You're going to go, when you go on holiday or when you come to Brazil, to the beach. You're going to jump 7 waves. And you're going to throw it into the ocean and give it to a gift to Iemanjá, the goddess of the sea. Okay? And you're going to thank her for making all your wishes come true. There's a lot of little stories like this, especially at New Year's, where we have a lot of rituals. Everyone dresses in white, and we offer flowers to Iemanjá, the goddess of the sea. We jump our 7 waves, we make our wishes, we throw our roses, our flowers into the ocean, giving them to the goddess of the sea after jumping your 7 waves, and then you can't turn your back to her. So you walk away thanking her, and you go. Let's see if this year she listened to my wishes.
Oh.
My wishes, I think my wishes were more or less the same as the rest of the world. Let's see how good our goddess of the sea
Oh,
is.
bless you. Yeah. I hope it works for you. Yeah.
For us, if it works,
yeah.
it's going to work for us.
Bless
So
her.
coming from the old town, after we've done our visit here of the old town, we are going to go on our to the lookout points, also up in the upper town, where we have this lift, and this lift is called Elevador Lacerda. It's an elevator that joins the old town of Salvador, the residential part, the part that's on the water, up to the historical part of the city. And down here, you're going to have the Mercado Modelo, which is the local market, which is a fantastic stop in the city. So we have here the lower part of town, the mercado, the market where you can buy anything you think of, all the walk parts around, which has all been redone. This is totally new. In the last 2 years, the city of Salvador has really invested a lot in revitalizing the old part of the city. So here you have a lot of little cafes where we can do little presentations and things like that. And here we have what we call Dick. And Dick is nothing more, nothing less than 5 statues with these beautiful goddesses. And each of these goddesses are from the African religion. We call them orishas, and they each represent some African religion. So they are the symbol of Salvador as well, and tribute to all the Africans that live there. And one of the activities that we do for groups is taking the group to an African how can I call this? It's like a terreiro. It's an area where they can actually see the African goddesses
Mm.
performing, or it's not like a performance, like a show, but it's actually where they practice their religion, if we can put it like that. So that's something very interesting and different in Salvador. Local experiences, sounds, and rhythms. The capoeira, which is nothing more than a dance, is very famous in Salvador. So we have our capoeira workshop for the group, percussion workshops, bike rides, and going out again on the boats here to the Ilha do Farol, which is you go through the Bahia, the Bay of Salvador, or on the schooner boat with local music, and arrive for a beach day as well in the city. This will obviously make sense if you're not combining Salvador with Rio.
Mhm.
A night town in town, we have our famous Olodum. Olodum is our Afro reggae, our Afro Brazilian reggae band, as you can see through their colors. And if you remember in the beginning, I said this reminds me a lot of our Brazilian Caribbean. So here we have our reggae music, our sign. Every Tuesday night, they have a rehearsal, which is huge, and it invades the streets of the Pelourinho, the historical part. So a fantastic option for an incentive group. And then also we have the theater, Miguel Santana Theater, where you actually see a beautiful ballet, one of the best ballets we have in Rio, and then from there go out to dinner. The carnival in Salvador is also a can't miss. It's very different to the carnival in Rio. While Rio is more about the parade, the feathers, the floats, the open air opera, the carnival in Salvador is about 5 days of street partying all over the city. So here you have three different views. Here, one around the beach area of Salvador, here in the historical town, and again in the residential area. Three areas. The city is invaded by parties. You need to buy a t-shirt, which
Mhm.
we call bandana, and this t-shirt gives you access to sort of a private area where you can dance and drink around. So it's nothing more than these big cars with famous Brazilian singers going around the city, and thousands of people dancing around after them. And it's really for the young bit with a lot of energy, or you need a lot of Red Bull to
To keep going.
to carry on. But for the partiers, it definitely is a can't miss experience. For the not partiers, we have a new venue in the area of the Pelourinho, which is called Casa do Carnaval. It's a beautiful house, historical house, that has been created as a museum of carnival. And going through here, you're going to have a whole history of carnival in Salvador, carnival in Rio, carnival in Recife. So it's going to give you an overview of carnival throughout Brazil. Very different to the city of Samba in Rio, that is based just on the carnival in Rio. This one gives you an overview of the country. And the tastes of flavors of Salvador. I'm a foodie. I love eating. I love tastes. I love flavors. So the Brazilian cuisine is something very interesting for me. It changes a lot from north to south. And in Salvador is one of my favorite. It's a spicy food. They use a lot of coconut milk, coconut oil. We have what we call óleo de dendê that came from Africa. So very, very tasty food. And here we have two typical dishes of Salvador. One, which is a moqueca, which is it's like a fish stew made with, you can do it with fish and prawns. It has a lot of coriander, a lot of coconut milk, garlic, absolutely delicious. And we have a acarajé, which the lovely ladies, the baianas, are always serving along the city. And here for an incentive group, we always have uh, one of them presenting acarajé to our groups, which are like little fish cakes, if you can say like
Mhm.
that, or fatty cakes, cut open with fresh prawns, spice, lime, very, very delicious. So the cuisine is something amazing. Some of the different kinds of restaurants, Casa Teresa, something more typical. At the marina, we have beautiful restaurants, or this Chef Bernard is a French chef that's adapted the French cuisine to the Bahian cuisine, and it's located up in the Pelourinho with a beautiful view of the city. So different options as well there. And some of the venues, be it in the fortress, be it Ilha Loreto, which is a beautiful little island, just off Salvador. We arrived by boat, or Casa Baluarte, which is one of the venues, normal venues that we use, also with an amazing view. And some of our little special touches, we have the orchestra of berimbau, which is one of the famous instruments in Salvador, used a lot as well in the capoeira presentations, meeting the groups at the venues, at the airports. Here we have two of our beautiful baianas meeting the group at the airports with the famous little wish bands, as I was mentioning. Here giving them flowers to do the offer of Iemanjá. So different little options that we have. So we've done Rio, we've done Salvador, and now we're going to fly to the Pantanal. If you ever need anything, please count on us to put together your programs.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anna. That was really, really good. Does anybody have any questions while Anna's still online? Just to make the most of her while we've got her. Let's have a look. Mario sent a message. Saying it's amazing, brilliant live presentation. Sarah's, oh yeah, cool. But no, fantastic. Thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Anna, again for your time. Thanks. Together. It was amazing.
Thank you, Jo.
No worries. If you've got any inquiries going forward, train 2, train 3, please do get in contact. We'd love to help out with some ideas and put some programs together for you, wouldn't we, Anna?
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
Henrique, we hope to see you in Brazil soon. Yes, and Mario too, and Sarah, and Vinny, anyone who's here.
Fabulous. Thank you, guys.